And some extracurricular as Clark's knocked down a couple of deep triples here in the second quarter.
Caitlin Clark's on fire in the WNBA, but she's also on thin ice. One more tech and she's benched. Can you believe it? The league's new superstar might have to sit out because of some questionable calls. Let's break down how Clark got here and what it means for her team. Clark's been lighting up the scoreboard like it's her personal video game. She's dishing out assists, draining threes, and making defenders look silly. But here's the thing, all that fire on the court, it's gotten her in hot water with the refs. Now she's one tech away from a suspension. That's crazy, right? The Fever's star player could be watching from the sidelines when her team needs her most. And you know what's even wilder? Some of these techs are for the most ridiculous reasons. We're talking accidental rim touches and frustrated looks. So what's next for Clark? She's got to walk this tightrope between playing her game and keeping the refs happy. It's not going to be easy, but that's the challenge for a rookie under the spotlight.
Victoria Vivian's an old Indiana Fever player.
Let's see if she can keep her cool and keep crushing it on the court. Before we continue, I'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of our viewers watch without subscribing, and while it's free for you, it makes a world of difference to us. Have you hit that subscribe button? Awesome! Thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Speaking of keeping cool, Clark's got a whole new challenge on her hands. Ever heard of a player getting suspended for barely grazing the rim? Welcome to Caitlin's world. Let's break down how these techs are piling up and why it's got everyone talking. You won't believe some of the reasons Clark has been hit with technical fouls. Picture this, she's in the zone, playing her heart out, and boom, tech for accidentally touching the rim. That's right, just a graze and the whistle blows. It's like the refs are watching her with a magnifying glass or something. But it's not just the rim incident. Clark's been racking up techs for what some are calling soft reasons. She's frustrated, and can you blame her? In her own words, it stinks because I feel like at half of my technicals this year, I could have done a better job keeping my emotions in check, but at the same time, like really?
To its feet, they oblige. That one, by the way, was a 32-footer. So since we've run that graphic,
Yes.
Now, here's where it gets wild. Clark's pointing out some serious inconsistencies in how these calls are being made. She brought up a game where Aaliyah Boston got punched in the face. Yeah, you heard that right, punched in the face, and didn't get a tech. Clark's like, Aaliyah Boston got punched in the face, but like she got punched in the face. I mean, come on, refs. It's not just about Clark, though. This whole situation is shining a light on how the WNBA is officiating games. Are the rules too strict? Are they being applied evenly? These are the questions fans and players are asking, and honestly, they've got a point. Think about it. Clark's out there trying to play her game, lead her team, and now she's got to worry about every little move she makes. One wrong look, one frustrated gesture, and bam, she could be watching from the sidelines. That's a lot of pressure for any player, let alone a rookie who's already carrying the weight of being the #1 draft pick. And you know what's really crazy? This isn't just affecting Clark's stats or her team's record, it's getting into her head. She's having to change the way she plays, always second guessing herself. Is that what we want from our star players? To be so worried about techs that they can't just go out there and ball. Ever wonder if refs have favorites? Some fans think the officials might be playing a game of their own, and Caitlin Clark's at the center of it. Let's talk about why some people are raising eyebrows at how the rookie sensation is being treated on the court. Clark's not just making waves with her incredible plays, she's stirring up a storm with these technical fouls. Fans and analysts are starting to wonder, is Clark getting singled out? It's not just about the number of techs she's racking up, but the reasons behind them. We're talking about calls that make you go, really, that's a tech? Think about it. Clark gets hit with a tech for barely touching the rim, while other players are out there getting away with much more. It's like the refs have a magnifying glass on her every move. Is this some kind of rookie initiation, or is there something else going on? Now, let's put this in perspective. Well, Clark's not the only player in the league getting techs, but her situation is unique. She's the #1 draft pick, all eyes are on her, and she's playing with a fire that's hard to ignore. But should that mean she gets a different rule book? Here's where it gets interesting. Some teams like the Mercury have multiple players high on the tech list, but they're not getting the same attention as Clark. Is it because they're veterans? Or is Clark just that much more visible because of her explosive start? This whole situation is shining a spotlight on how the WNBA officiates games. Are the rules too strict? Are they being applied evenly? These are the questions fans and players are asking, and honestly, they've got a point. The impact on the game is huge. Players like Clark are out there second-guessing every move, worried that one wrong look could send them to the bench. That's not just affecting their stats, it's changing how they play the game. And for fans, it's frustrating to watch your favorite players held back by calls that seem too soft. So what's the solution? Some are calling for more consistent officiating across the league. Others think the rules need a serious look. Maybe it's time for the WNBA to sit down with players, coaches, and refs to figure out a way forward that keeps the game fair and exciting. Speaking of keeping things exciting, imagine this. Clark's just 19 points away from smashing the rookie scoring record. But here's the kicker, one more tech and she's out. Talk about high stakes basketball. Clark's not just playing against opponents on the court anymore. She's in a race against time, the rule book, and her own emotions. Every game is a tightrope walk between making history and potentially getting benched. It's like watching a thriller where the hero's trying to defuse a bomb. But in this case, the bomb is Clark's temper, and the timer is the ref's whistle. Like, think about it. Clark's so close to breaking the rookie scoring record. She can practically taste it. But one wrong move, one frustrated look at a ref, and poof, that chance could vanish. It's not just about missing a game anymore. It's about missing history. And it's not just Clark who's sweating. The Indiana Fever are probably biting their nails too. Imagine planning your game strategy around a superstar, only to have her yanked off the court because of a technicality. It's like showing up to a gunfight with a water pistol. Without Clark, the Fever's chances in crucial games could melt faster than ice cream in July. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA's got a bit of a dilemma on their hands. On one side, they've got rules to enforce. On the other, they've got a rising star who's drawing crowds like a magnet. Clark's not just any rookie. She's being compared to the legendary Diana Taurasi. The league's probably crossing their fingers, hoping Clark can keep her cool long enough to break that record. But let's zoom out for a second. This whole situation is shining a spotlight on a bigger issue. How do you balance enforcing the rules with promoting your star players? It's like trying to bake a cake without breaking any eggs. Something's gotta give. If Clark gets suspended, it's not just her stats that take a hit. The quality of the games could drop, fans might be disappointed, and the league could miss out on a major milestone moment. It's a domino effect that nobody wants to see. So what's the game plan here? Clark's gotta find a way to keep her fire without getting burned. The refs need to walk that line between calling a fair game and not stifling the excitement. And the league, they're in the hot seat trying to figure out how to keep the game fair while also letting their stars shine.